Hey guys, it's Jen Coyle from HelloBrio.com. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make some watercolor backgrounds, which can be really fun to add to your hand lettering projects or whatever you desire. I'm going to be using the Pentel water brushes and also some paint brushes. Feel free to use whatever you have. I'm also going to be using the Artist Loft palette from Michaels. Just have a paper towel handy, and if you're using watercolor brushes, have two containers of water, one for clean off and one for complete clean off, and I'll show you what I mean when I start using them. So watercolor backgrounds are really flexible in that you can create whatever you want. With my water brush, I'm going to choose a couple of colors, and I'm just going to start with pink and red because they tend to be some of my favorite colors to use. So to get this watercolor palette started and wake it up, I'm just going to drop a few drops into my palette, swirl it around to get the pigment moving, and then I'm going to wipe off my brush and also wake up the red here. So now I have two active pans. Clean off my brush again, and what I want to do is have a pink background that fades into red. So what I'm going to do is pick up a whole bunch of pink here and dot it into the red, and then I'm just going to make a few streaks on my paper. I want it to fade into red, so I'm going to pick up some red. Just really have fun with it. Now, the paper I'm using is cardstock, so I don't want to lay too much water down on the paper or else it'll start to pill, but that's okay because these are just really fun and quick to do. Next I want to do maybe an orange that fades into another orange. So pick up this orange and then also wake up this orange. So I want the darker orange to fade into the lighter orange. Play around with the spacing of your lines. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just have a nice gradient there. To clean off your water brush, just squeeze water through the tip and then it'll clean it off, and you'll see that even though the tip may look stained, it still is clean. Now I don't want to make these all the same, so with my other watercolor brushes, I'm just going to wake these up here with some water, and say I wanted to do a blue background with some blue dots in it. So I'm going to choose a lighter blue, and I'll go for this blue over here. Work the water into it to wake up the color. Add a little bit more water. Paint a nice wash onto my board here. Again, I'm using cardstock. So to clean these brushes, you want to clean it off in your first cup and then fully clean it off in your second cup, and then you'll have a nice clean brush. Just dry it off and put it off to the side. Now with my smaller brush, while this is still wet, I'm going to take darker blue and just start to dot it into the paper. We need more water here. The more water, the more it's going to move around on your paper. So let's go for maybe a purple on purple. Get a lot of water on my brush, work it into my watercolor pan. Add a couple streaks here. Now, say this isn't as random as I wanted it to be. I could have some fun with it, grab some purple, take my hand and just use this as a barrier, and I can start to splatter some purple in there. And that's okay if it gets on the other colors because I want these to be loose and fun. It's also getting all over my desk, but that's pretty par for the course when I'm working with watercolor. Another background I'm going to try and make are some color fades. So while I have some color fades here, I want them to be a little more pronounced. So I'm going to move on to another sheet of paper. And with my water brush, let's see, I need a little bit more water in here, so I'm going to use this to wake up my palette and use this for painting. Let's see, I'll do pink into orange. It's something that I like to do a lot. Or maybe pink into purple, that would stand out really well. So I have some pink, add more water here. And then also a purple here. So now with my water brush, I can go in with the pink then fade it into purple. Just dip it into the purple here. That's pretty fun. I'm also going to try something that's a little risky on cardstock, but I'm going to lay down water first and then drop some paint onto it. So just want to lay down a nice light wash of water. And then with my paintbrush, I'm going to take some color and just start to play around with the edges here with different colors. Let's see what else we got. Purple. Maybe some of this orange. You can see that it's just going where I've put down the water. So that's a pretty nice effect. I might do that with a couple other colors too. I really like how that turned out. So I have a warm one. Let's try a cool one down here. Lay down some water, and let's try some of these greens. Just kind of dot the color onto that wet paper there. I'm going to try some blue here. Just kind of lightly brushing the paper with the pigment. Maybe one other color here. Let's go for this blue. It's pretty similar to the other blue, but that's okay. Maybe just a little bit of purple. Put this off to the side. I'm also going to do a couple circular patterns, so let's try a warm one and a cool one. I think I'll go for a bright orange that maybe fades into red on the outside, so I'll wake up my orange. Start in the center, and then go for this darker red here. It's kind of like a brownish red. Add it to the outside. Yeah, that's really nice. Maybe I'll add some speckles in there too. Perfect. And we'll do this again with a cooler color, so let's go for the greens maybe. That's a pretty bright green. Yeah, I like how that turned out. So what you can do with these watercolor textures is once you have them already, you can letter on top of them just by themselves with ink to make sure they're fully dry so the paper won't pill even more. Or you can scan them into your computer and then create some digital backgrounds. I'm going to be offering these as a resource for the Briolettes. If you want to become a Briolette, you receive a goodie in your inbox every Friday. And I'm really happy to have a bunch of Briolettes as members already signed up. So if you guys have any questions about watercolor or using cardstock with watercolor, digitizing watercolor, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys in a future video. Bye!